guys, welcome back to my channel. So I just finished watching episode 3 and 4 of Echo. My reactions will be under my YouTube memberships. If you're new here, you do not know what that is. It's a few special perks for members only, and I've got 2 levels of memberships over there. Level 1 is for $2.99. You get priority replies from me, special polls, and live streams. Level 2 is for $4.99, and you get everything that level 1 has. Plus, you get all of my reactions to all the shows I watch, any movies I watch, and all of my uncut Try Not to Laughs. Ah. I gotta say, first of all, tomorrow I'll be watching the last episode of Echo. I just want to be done with this. I'm trying not to say anything bad until I finish watching the entire thing. I will say this, though. Episode 3 did nothing for me. It did nothing for me. I was pretty interested because I wanted to know, what this was all about. And then after watching Hawkeye, I'm like, okay, now I have a little bit of context so I can come and watch and, so I can kind of get a little bit of an understanding with Maya and Echo and all these things. So episode 3 was a long-winded hostage situation, in my opinion. We can agree to disagree. I have not seen any reviews or anything about this show because I wanted to have my own opinion on it without being influenced by anything or anyone else. Even Tyrone watched it, and I have not watched any of his reviews. I haven't even really spoken to him about it at all. Like, I just want to experience this for myself. I was interested. Episode 3 kind of took me out. It just felt like it was a long-winded episode. It was a long-winded hostage situation. So it starts off with, I guess it kind of ties into what happens after. Once you start watching episode 3 and 4, maybe even the last one, I don't know. But it starts off with like an old school type of situation with an ancestor that goes way back when. They talk about the Indian police officers, and they show this one guy with his daughter. He's teaching her how to shoot or how to take things out, how to be a warrior, basically. And then she gets all excited and she's like, all right, I'm ready to do this with you. And he's just like, no, women are life givers, men are life takers. And she gets really upset. And then, she, I guess, says to him, what's the point of giving life if I can't protect it, type of thing. Which is some words of wisdom, I mean, so then after that, it shows him and I guess his counterparts getting into it with some enemies. And it looks like they're being taken down. And then she shows up and has her moment where she takes all these guys out based on how she was trained by her father. He gets all excited about it. And she becomes this pillar of strength. A woman of strength. And so you see her and she's getting upset. And I think this is before she started braiding her hair, but apparently braiding hair was for men, for Choctaw warriors, and she braided her hair anyway because she saw herself as a warrior, and, she had her dad's back or whatever. So in the midst of this situation, she senses something wrong, or she has this ancestral sense, just like we've been seeing these visions. And that's when she goes and, helps her dad out. He's very proud. Now, real time. So Maya's grandmother is going around trying to get some information on what's going on, where she is. She goes to the grandfather's shop, um, and he's kind of funny. He's trying to like get at her, even though they used to be together or whatever. And she was just like, "Yeah, right." But he's trying his best to kind of stay out of it, but basically let her know that she needs to talk to her or whatever. So the conversation didn't really go um really really good. Um so I guess this whole time I've been trying to figure out what is the grudge or what is the problem that Chola is having with Maya, her granddaughter. And I assume that it was because she blamed her father for her daughter's death. Um so Maya then sees these visions again as she's out in the woods, and she kind of feels like she's being followed, and then all of a sudden she gets captured, right? But she sees these visions right before something bad happens. So apparently that's the thing. Something bad's going to happen, you see these visions. So from what I can tell, unless I'm understanding this wrong. So she sees all her ancestors, she gets captured. She ends up hanging upside down in the middle of the skating rink where her Uncle Henry works. Uncle Henry is also tied up. So apparently I had a feeling that the guy that worked for him that cleans skates, something was up with him, because he messaged whoever he messaged to let them know basically he has some info on Maya being in town. That was in the beginning. So now we see that he clearly, I don't know who he was working for, but he ends up taking them hostage. He's got these two chicks with him that are absolutely annoying. These two chicks are absolutely annoying. Their acting is horrible. They serve no purpose, in my opinion. They served absolutely no purpose. They did nothing. They didn't scare me. They didn't give any villain vibes to me. Like, they had no purpose at all in this episode whatsoever. They were weak characters, in my opinion, okay? Sorry if I'm coming off like I'm ranting, but it irks my nerves because even though I wasn't really entirely pulled into this show, I was still interested. I'm interested to know how this ends. Let's just say that. Now I gotta say, I do like Maya in this. I like her character. I what I I'll save that for my final review because I've got a few thoughts on her too. But so far I'm enjoying her fighting scenes. But anyway, she gets caught. Uncle Henry gets caught. Bonnie shows up trying to get into the skating rink. She don't know what's going on. She ends up coming in through the back door. She gets caught up by these guys or whatever. But before all that happens, she comes, I guess they let Uncle Henry loose so he can get Bonnie away, but he's talking to her in sign language telling her to go. She knows something's wrong, so she leaves to go to her truck to call dispatch, and then they got her too. So now they're all in there. She gets thrown into the room where Maya is at, and this is the first time that they see each other since they were kids. So at one point, Maya is hanging upside down in the beginning of all this, and she ends up coming down but breaking her prosthetic again. And she apparently in her boot has a knife, so she gets out of her ties. She helps Bonnie get loose. She's going around looking for stuff, and Bonnie's trying to talk to her, basically asking her like, where the heck have you been? Why haven't you spoken to me? What's going on? Nothing. So in the midst of all of this going on, this is already taking way too long. Then the guy from the warehouse that Maya blew up shows up with all of his goons. Okay? He shows up because the guy, he is the one who the skate cleaner guy has been texting. So he's making a trade. He gets money from Maya. He comes in, he wants to make sure that Maya is there. He's not showing him any money. He's making him look like a total chump. So he's still asking for the money, as scared as he is. And then in the midst of all this, Maya gets loose. She lets Bonnie loose. This is still going on way too long. This is already like 26 minutes into this episode. And they're still trying to get out. Okay? So, it gets entertaining when the guy from the warehouse is basically trying to call out this, I think his name was Vic. I don't know. So Vic and one of the girls get a text message from the other chick that well, not the other chick, from the other chick's phone, and it's a picture of the other girl tied up, and it's Maya that sent the picture. So Maya's now gone. These two are looking at each other like, she's like, I'm gonna go look at something. And he's like, well, where's the money? Like, he's asking, as scared as he is, he's asking for the money still. The warehouse guy isn't stupid. So he's like, you want to go outside or something? The conversation is, I'm trying to stay into this episode. Dude shoots him and takes him out right there, which I did not expect. Like, it was like some mafia stuff. That's when it got entertaining for me. I mean, not that I want to see somebody get killed and I don't find that entertaining, but you guys understand where I'm coming from. It was such a long-winded thing that's when it started to get interesting for me. Then once that happened, he's laying there bloody and everything, and I'm like, whoa, like, this is gory for this to be, this, right? So then now a whole fight scene happens with Maya, which I was entertained by. I like this fight scene with her fighting all the guys, the different moves that she was doing, the different fighting that was going on. I enjoyed watching that. I think it was well put together. It didn't look scripted to me. It didn't look stupid. The fight scene I enjoyed. I really honestly did. That's my opinion. Not sure if you guys agree with it or not. That's my opinion. So now eventually there was more guys, so everyone's now tied up. Bonnie, Maya, and Uncle Henry are all got guns drawn on them and everything. The guy from the warehouse gets a phone call, which I assume was Kingpin, and it was, calling everything off. They leave, they're free. Long story short with all of that, Maya sent Bonnie home. Then grandfather came, and he was in the midst of making Maya a brand new part for her prosthetic leg, and he gave it to her, handmade. It was really nice. It represented their people. She put it on, and it fit nicely. And he's basically trying to tell her that, she needs to talk to her grandmother. And so at the end of all this, she ends up going back to the house on her motorcycle. She gets there, and Kingpin, this is probably the best part for me in this episode. Kingpin is standing there like the damn Undertaker. And that's where the episode ends. And I start laughing because I'm just like, yo, like, he showed up like the damn Grim Reaper. So I really, really, really enjoy watching Kingpin's character. I really, really do. I like the mysteriousness around him. He's not over the top badass, but you can tell that he has an authority. He's not somebody to be played with, and I like that. So that was episode 3. So now episode 4, it shows Maya as a young girl, and it shows how, and we saw this in the trailer, it was the ice cream scene where she's trying to get ice cream. The guy didn't understand that she was deaf. Kingpin is in the truck looking, and he's not liking the way that this guy is treating her. She gets in the car. He goes, beats the guy up. He beats him up so bad he ain't moving. He's got blood all over him, and he makes a call to get a new suit, and before he knows it, Maya sees him. And she comes in and gets her kicks off too, which I did not expect. So he grabs her by the hand and they walk away. I'm like, and that for me was the beginning of her badassery journey with Kingpin. So then it kind of fast forward and it shows them having dinner, and there's an interpreter in the room, and he's telling her like it's time for you to basically really get your hands dirty with this thing. No more, tutoring or whatever. The interpreter is talking for him because he doesn't know sign language. Nothing's going on at this point. So the interpreter has now been dismissed because he's in the middle of this conversation saying to her, we can't trust anybody but ourselves. So he can't even trust the interpreter, to the point where he dismisses the interpreter. The interpreter is getting followed by one of the goons, and they off her around the corner. You can see the plastic all over the place so nothing gets dirty. Like, it was crazy, like some mobster style type stuff, right? So so then we come back to the scene where he's waiting for her outside of where she's staying at right now. And they grab her up and he sticks a contact in her eye. And he has this device that basically now they can communicate. He doesn't know sign language still, but she can see. There's almost like an electronic interpreter. She can see the hands moving, the sign language going, and he can understand her because I guess it talks to him. So now they can communicate. So he's telling her, he gets her in the house, he offers her dinner, he basically makes a proposition to her. She's not trusting it. There's a bottle of wine involved. She pours it down the drain because she doesn't trust him. She's like, why are you here? I shot you. You had no idea that I wanted you dead. And he tells her he's not angry with her. He's got a proposition. He wants to give her, he's going back to New York. He wants to give her the whole empire, everything. He wants to give her everything. He wants her on the plane. He tells her where he's staying at. He's being stern, but he's also making sure to be very careful with her, because he doesn't want to lose her trust. He feels that he's still kind of got a little piece of her, and he's treading lightly with her while still letting her know who's boss. So aside from all of that, Maya goes back to talk to Uncle Henry, and Uncle Henry basically tells him, the only reason why I'm alone in this is because everybody around me got taken out by Kingpin. He doesn't want Maya to go anywhere near him anymore because he's afraid that she will turn into him, is what I got from the conversation. And he obviously works for Fisk, doing his dirty work, and he was threatened to be killed if he left. So he never left. So that's how he got stuck in this whole situation. So she ends up having all these crazy visions, and at the same time we see that Chola, her grandmother, is also having these visions in the middle of this carnival or this fair that she's at, and they're both having these visions at the same exact time. They're seeing the same thing, and so Uncle Henry doesn't know what's going on, but he basically knows. He seems to know, but not know, because this is the first time he sees Maya like that, I guess. So he just got her in the truck, drives her over to the grandma's house. She freaks out because she's like, where am I? He's like, whatever you got going on, your grandmother can help. You need to talk to her. So this is where we find out that there was so much tension with her grandmother because her grandmother couldn't stand being around her because she reminded her so much of her daughter. I feel like that was not an excuse to not reach out to her. But that's just the way that they coped, that she coped. She tried to be nice to her, but Maya wasn't having it. So she sat with her and she kind of explained, these visions and what was going on when she was having her daughter, Maya's mom. And she said that it was like a life or death situation. She was at a hospital, and then she got taken out of that hospital to be with her people, with midwives. and it looked like she was in the middle of the woods, and all of a sudden she was getting like these visions. She was in the woods, she saw the sky, she was having a natural birth. And between all of that, she realized that she was birthing her daughter with healing powers. So her mother was a healer, she had a gift, and that was their connection. And Maya is connected in that way with her mother too. And so, Maya got really, really upset. She basically was just like, you could have reached out to me, you could have said something to me. So her grandmother clearly feels bad now that she's talking to her, and she explains to her, like, we need our ancestors the most, and it's getting more intense because you're going to need them now. I don't know what's going to happen in this final episode, but something's going to happen. Biscuits is looking at it in some, I guess he's looking to fix the truck. We see Bonnie one more time. I don't know if she was waiting for Maya or not, but we don't see that she called Maya again. Oh, Maya called her again. So now she leaves her grandma's house really upset. Her grandmother goes to another room where she gets emotional seeing this piece of clothing. And I'm assuming it's ancestral, like it's something very dear to her. And so we see that she's making something, which I'm assuming is for Maya. It looks like it may be some, I don't know if they're shoulder pads, I don't know if they're knee pads. There's something that she's making. And it seems like she's making it out of this cloth, or they showed what this outfit was. And I honestly don't remember if I've seen this before. Maybe I did. I don't remember. I apologize. Maybe you guys can remind me where I saw this. But anyway, so now Maya ends up going to the hotel where Kingpin is at. She gets into the room and they're having this little standoff situation. And he wants her to get on this plane the next day and go with him to New York. He ends up telling the story about how he killed his father, and he carries the weapon that he used, which is a hammer, to remind himself of the power that he felt. Because he saw his father beating his mom, and he beat his father to death with that. So then he's telling Maya to beat him with it so she can get all her aggression out, but she doesn't do it. She doesn't do it, and you could kind of hear like the sinister music playing when he's talking, which intensifies his persona at this moment. And so the next day he's on the plane and Maya leaves town. We see Maya leaving town, and he gets the call that they lost her. She's gone, and he gets really mad, and that's where that ends. So I honestly gotta say I liked episode 4 more than 3. 3, oh damn near almost took me out. It was just I know you guys normally don't see me reacting like this to shows that I watch, but I feel like episode 3 was absolutely pointless. It was pointless, and the most interesting parts to me was when they took the guy out in the skating rink, and when Kingpin showed up like the Undertaker in the dark, just looking at Maya. And episode 4 kind of gave me a little more understanding of these visions because I didn't understand where they were coming from. And obviously it solidified what I felt with Maya's grandmother and her feeling like she couldn't be around Maya emotionally. It wasn't that she didn't like her, or she didn't, she had beef with her. It was her father that she couldn't be around, and it hurt her more to be around her. And there wasn't really much that she could say to her as far as why she didn't reach out. She could have. So, yeah. So then tomorrow I will be watching the final episode of Echo. But leave your comments down below. Let me know if you enjoyed my review for both episodes 3 and 4. Let me know if you agree, disagree, or feel indifferent. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel, hit like, share, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you guys can get notified whenever I pop up on your feed. I'll see you guys later. Toodles!